Asterisk, asterisk, I swear, the funniest and honestly the most ridiculous thing I've ever experienced started with something as simple as firewood. You'd think nobody in their right mind would bother stealing logs meant for a backyard barbecue, right? Well, welcome to my HOA. For weeks, I had my firewood stacked neatly beside my porch. I was planning late-night barbecues, winter bonfires, just relaxing, normal stuff. But every single morning, without fail, half the stack would be gone. Not a log or two, half. Cleanly, perfectly taken away like someone was following a firewood diet plan that, at first, I thought maybe it was animals. Raccoons, maybe? Or some neighbor's kid playing pranks. But then I noticed something weird. The cuts were clean. The remaining pieces were rearranged. And animals definitely don't organize wood piles like they're playing Tetris. So I installed a CCTV camera. And that was the moment the whole situation became comedy gold. Hashtag, 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 guess who I saw in the footage? Not some raccoon. Not some random thief. Not even a kid. But her, the self-appointed queen of the HOA. The woman who believes the world, and apparently firewood, exists only to serve her asterisk Karen. Asterisk there, she was at 5:42 a.m., wearing fluffy pink slippers, a robe, and this hilarious, I'm doing something important face. She would casually waddle up to my porch, scoop up a bunch of logs, and march away with the swagger of someone who harvested them with her own bare hands. But the best part? She wasn't even trying to be sneaky. No masks, no hoodies. Nothing. She looked straight into the camera several times like she was filming a skincare ad point one morning in the footage. She even turned to her husband and said, asterisk, we pay HOA dues, so technically we own everything. I swear my soul left my body that I wanted to slam my head into the wall just to reboot my brain. Anyway, once I saw the videos, I walked over to confront her, politely of course. I didn't want drama. I just wanted my firewood back and maybe a normal explanation that I said, hey Karen, I noticed my firewood has been disappearing. My camera picked someone up taking it, and it looked like you. She didn't even blink. Didn't even deny it. She went straight into full volume, full energy Karen mode. How dare you accuse me? I am a HOA president. Everything here is community property. If you leave something outside, it's fair game. Her husband stood behind her looking like he regretted every decision that led him to this moment. I managed to keep my voice calm. Karen, that's not how private property works. But she cut me off with the classic Karen battle cry. Don't talk back to me. Then, this part still makes me laugh. She pointed at MY porch and yelled, this is basically the same as the park. At that point, I realized this wasn't theft. This was Karen-level stupidity. The elite tier. The championship edition. The kind professionals write research papers about. So I thought, asterisk okay. If logic isn't going to work, maybe strategy will. Asterisk that night, I sat on my porch, staring at my half-empty firewood pile, sipping some iced tea, thinking asterisk, what's the best way to teach a lesson to someone who thinks my porch is a public park? Asterisk, and just then, an idea hit me that a perfectly petty, deliciously satisfying idea that would change this HOA forever. But before I could put the plan into action, something unexpected happened. Asterisk, I knew one thing for sure. I couldn't confront Karen directly, because in HOA land, the moment you call out a problem, somehow you become a problem. It's like HOA logic runs on reverse electricity. So, instead of arguing, I decided to outsmart her. And oh boy, my plan was beautiful. I went online and bought some hollow decorative logs, the kind people use for fake fireplaces. Completely harmless, completely lightweight, and most importantly, perfectly feasible that I took them into my garage, grabbed a screwdriver, and opened them up from the bottom. Then, using a tiny funnel, I poured in a thin layer of gunpowder, not enough to hurt anyone, just enough to make a loud POM when ignited. More like a party popper for idiots. I sealed the logs back shut so cleanly that even Sherlock Holmes would have nodded approvingly. No smell, no scratches, no visible difference. They looked like fresh cut wood straight from a lumberjack's Instagram reel. That night, when the entire neighborhood was quiet and the streetlights hummed like background music, I walked out to my porch and carefully arranged those special logs on the top layer of my stack. IT felt like setting a bait for a very specific species of pest Homo carinus. I didn't even have to wait long at exactly 5:39 a.m. The CCTV caught movement. There she was, in her robe, in her slippers, looking around like a kid stealing cookies. And behind her was her husband. Poor guy, walking with the defeated posture of a man who knows better but has lost every argument since 1998. Karen marched straight to my porch like she was entering a royal ballroom. She grabbed one log, inspected it dramatically, nodded like someone expert, and slipped it under her arm. Then she grabbed two more, stacked them awkwardly, and turned around with the posture of a proud jungle queen returning from the hunt. Her husband said something like, "Maybe we should ask hi." She cut him off with, "We pay dues, Tom. This is community firewood." I swear I almost burst out laughing, even though I was hiding quietly behind my porch railing, watching everything unfold live like front row theater. She strutted away with her loot, head high, confidence higher, ignorance highest. At a few minutes later, my phone pinged. CCTV motion again, this time from the camera pointed near her driveway. She placed the 3 logs beside her backyard fire pit, dusted her hands dramatically, and announced, "Tonight, we're having a real fire." Her husband didn't look excited. He looked like a man silently whispering, "Please don't explode." I leaned back in my porch chair, sipping my drink, a tiny smile forming. Everything was set. The players were in position. The stage was ready. And in just a few hours, Karen was about to experience the most dramatic POM of her HOA career. Barely 10 minutes after her proud little parade, I was sitting on my porch enjoying the morning air when the neighborhood suddenly echoed with the loudest POOM. It wasn't the kind of sound that scares you. It was the kind that makes you burst out laughing before you even know what happened. And then came the scream. Oh, the scream. What was that? Who put a bomb in my fire pit? Karen shrieked like she just survived a Hollywood action movie scene. Her husband yelled something too, but it was muffled by the sound of their fire pit literally falling apart in pieces. The gunpowder was too little to hurt anyone, exactly as planned, but it was more than enough to blow their cheap metal fire bowl into dramatic confetti. Within minutes, neighbors peeked out of their windows. Dogs barked. Birds flew away in disappointment. And Karen was in full meltdown mode. She stormed across the lawn yelling random accusations at the universe. "This is terrorism. Someone is targeting me." I casually walked inside, grabbed my phone, and waited. Sure enough, 20 minutes later, police knocked on my door. Karen was behind them, pointing aggressively like she was trying to direct traffic. He tried to blow me up. He planted explosives in my firewood. I calmly invited the officers inside. Then I played the CCTV footage, every second, every frame, every slipper-wearing wood theft moment. There she was, sneaking, stealing, wobbling proudly with logs she was so sure she owned because we pay HOA dues. The officers watched, looked at each other, and one of them asked her, "Ma'am, you took the logs yourself?" She stuttered so hard she almost restarted Windows. Yes, but you thought you owned his porch firewood? Look, it's complicated." It wasn't. The report was filed. The blame was cleared, and her credibility evaporated like cheap perfume. Fire the HOA meeting of doom within 48 hours. An emergency HOA meeting was called. Karen came in acting like a victim of war. She tried blaming me again. "He set a trap. He targeted me. It's harassment. It's sabotage. But before she could finish, I connected my laptop to the projector. The footage played on a big screen in HD, with zoom, with slow motion. The room was silent except for people trying not to laugh. When the video ended, one HOA member cleared his throat and announced, "We have made our decision." Karen leaned forward, ready for fake sympathy. But instead she got, "You are suspended from your HOA position effective immediately. You stole private property, and you will record a public apology video to be shared with all residents." Karen's expression? Imagine a balloon losing air in slow motion. Her husband gently pulled her back in her seat before she fainted out of embarrassment. Fire aftermath since that day. My firewood stack has remained untouched, safe, and respected, exactly as nature intended. Karen, on the other hand, Now behaves like I'm radioactive if I step outside. She rushes back in her house. If she sees me at the mailboxes, she spins around like a malfunctioning robot and speed walks away. She even crosses the street to avoid eye contact danger. Honestly, peace at last. Lesson learned, never pick a fight with a homeowner, especially when that homeowner is way smarter than you.